Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'm making a quick accordion folder from index cards, perfect for organizing small papers, stickers or ephemera. So let's get started. You're gonna need 9 index cards, twine, something to make a circle, something to make a hole, some pins, ruler of course, scissors, something to decorate, and optionally a scoring board. We're gonna use 3 index cards for this part. 2 of them we're gonna score vertically in each one of the lines. That is about 0.5 centimeters each. I'm gonna use my scoring board because it makes it easier for me, and I'm gonna score each one of those lines, as you can see here. I'm gonna leave the last line as big as a space it has. Now that is scored, I just move it back and forth in a zigzag movement, the whole index card. And I'm gonna have 2 of these pieces. Now I have 2 pieces, and we're gonna do the third piece in a horizontal way. Is the same concept. You just have to mark lines of 0.5 centimeters, which we're gonna use the guide of another index cards in the back of these. Now that you have it marked, you just have to draw a line between the 2 sides, and you should have the regular lines that we had, but in a horizontal position. For the length, try to match the same number of lines that you had in the regular index card. In my case, there were 11 lines, so once I draw them, I just got the excess. I will reserve this part because we're gonna use it later. And once again, we're gonna do the same process. We are gonna score the full lines and reserve. Here's the fun part. We're gonna take our index cards and reserve one of them. That's gonna be the cover, and then we're gonna paste all the other ones. Now you're gonna reserve the last one. Do not paste in that one, and in the next one you can start adding the index card like so. You fold another zigzag, let's say, and then you paste another one, and you keep going in each one of the lines. And there you end. Here I already applied glue. Remember to leave always the last end in blank. Don't paste anything there yet. So I keep adding my index cards, and then I add one by one. I add glue, as you can see here, and then I put another index card. It is a lot better if you leave them dry a little bit before you paste the next one, but here I did all of them already, so this is how it looks like in the top, and you can see an accordion already. I just make sure that everything is measured in the right way. I'm going to the bottom part again. Leave the last piece of the accordion blank, so, and then apply glue to the second part of the accordion, to the second flip of the accordion, let's say. And then I open that part. As you can see, it's a lot easier to apply. I'm showing this process because it does require some patience. You can of course just avoid this part and paste a piece of paper at the bottom, but I kind of wanted to do the full process this time. I would suggest that for this part you let it dry before you go with the next one, but in my case I didn't wait much, as you can see, and then I folded the next one, and then I put glue again and I fold it. And in this part is kind of folding or turning the pages of a book around. Just have to align it well, but each index card is like a new page. Keep adding to it, and then the next one, and you keep doing that until the end. We finally finished this part and it's very beautiful already. We're gonna do the last part again. The last bit of the accordion you don't paste, you start with the second bit, and it's a lot easier for me to apply in the back of the index card like so. And then for this piece I actually would suggest, strongly suggest that you let it dry for you to apply the second line. I'm gonna unfold some of the folding parts just because it's a little bit harder to kind of match inside of the folding. So I'm gonna flatten, as you can see, a little bit here. So it's gonna allow me to put the piece correctly. It gives me more grasp to put the pieces in the right place. And then I apply glue, and then I keep going. And I'm gonna keep going until I finish applying this. Then cut 3 centimeters from the top. You can use X-Acto knife or scissors as well. And then cut kind of the corners of each one of the flaps that are missing, because that's what we're gonna use to attach our last piece. This is the last index cards. Everything is dry now. This is gonna serve as a folding piece, like the one that is gonna create the final flap that is gonna close our envelope. We apply glue on the flaps. That's why we didn't want to paste any other index cards in this part. We apply glue, we close this. I'm gonna use a file folder to kind of make sure that this stays, because as you can see it's lifting a little bit, but it's really good and easy to do at this point. It feels already like an accordion file. It's very fun, and I'm planning to use this probably for an upcoming trip to put some ephemera there. It's gonna be super easy and very practical too. And then with the reminder, we just fold it, and that's our envelope. From the reserved piece of index card that was left over from the accordion, I just cut 4 circles. And then I'm gonna paste 2 of those circles together to make the coins sturdy enough for me to apply the twine. and then holding it, I'm gonna use this hole puncher, and then I'm gonna use this bit to connect this with the envelope. And then I do the same with the bottom part. Once I measure how they are gonna close, I do exactly the same. There you go, you have your coins. Let's add some twine. I like attaching the twine on the envelope rather than just leave it by its own, just to make sure that it doesn't move when I send it. And then I like crossing the twine as well, but you can go in the straight line as well. And then when I have it in the right size, I just cut the excess. Decoration is one of my favorite parts, so I'm gonna use some stickers that I have. I have been looking at these travel stickers for a while, and I definitely planning to use them here. So I decided to go with this red. I have this green, and I had this cute envelope here that I said definitely gonna use it. There we go, and I just cut excess here. Finally, I decided to add an additional beautiful touch to my decoration by adding real flowers and wax seal. I'm adding just one wax bead because I have this small wax seal, and also these are my real flowers. I'm gonna add some glue to attach them to the paper, but not too much, just a few drops. And my wax seal has a lot of wax from a previous project, so this is a lot. You can see it's not white. I have been using gold and green for other projects I have been playing lately. And then I'm gonna use my wax seal just to make sure that it's in the right direction and apply. This looks beautiful. Wax seals is one of my favorite things to add to my projects. And there you go. This is the final project. It's a very easy project, but also very fun to add wax in all parts of the envelope. Now you can add it, and it's very spacious. You can add a lot of ephemera here. And then we can put it back together. As I put this in the cross way, I have to remember that because sometimes I just put it straight. And I hope that you like it. If you did, please consider subscribing. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.